Big boom. 4 fists of
Can I
doom.
get a hell yeah?
I just stole your line.
What? Big boom fist of doom?
4 fists of doom.
Oh yeah. And I was just repeating what we heard over and over again on was it Friday night, Saturday night?
Oof. Yes.
Can I get a hell yeah?
That was that. Okay. I just want to say, if you go to wrestling with little people, they should fire the announcer guy. Should have been fired. Like, he was the worst.
Oh, which one? Both of them?
Yeah, honestly, both of them. The promoter and the announcer. I mean, the promoter for doing okay. So we appreciate getting the opportunity to go to Midget Mania.
Yes.
That is
It was the biggest wrestling event that I've been to.
Not us. Not our name, just to be clear.
Not our name. Their name for their show.
It was a cultural experience. One, we were supposed to go with your friend Nick, yes?
Yes, and we got into this place and it was packed wall to wall with people, and there was no way to find him.
And there was a person at the front arguing about having seats.
Yeah. Yeah. And when I messaged Nick, he's like, "I'm by the bar." We said, "Where's the bar?" They said, "That way." We walked over to a bar. There are 2 bars in this establishment, and we went to the wrong one.
Went to the wrong bar on the other side of the floor. Apparently
Yes.
they oversold the building, according to the promoter, which I don't believe. But anyway, that's fine. I do believe, because we were there. It was oversold. I was surprised the fire department didn't come. If you want to look this place up, it was at the Palace Casino.
It was
in South Tacoma.
441, and I think there was over 1,000 people inside. It was bad. It was
a little crazy. We saw things that I can't unsee for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I know.
It
was rough.
I think we should just leave it at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you brought it up. I wasn't going to lead the podcast with that, but we do appreciate cultural events and outings. Also,
we appreciate Nick for inviting us.
Yes.
Thank you, Nick.
I'm still looking for a car, so if you have a nice used car that you want to get rid of,
yeah, Dan is in need of a vehicle, so
yeah,
none of the options that I've tried to throw out to him have fit the bill, or
no, they have not. Greg's options were rated like 3, 2, 1 for safety on Consumer Reports.
I mean, you've already been in an accident. I mean, what's the chances you're going to get another one? The world according to Garp says, if you find a house that a plane's crashed into it, is it going to happen again? Probably not. So, Dan,
I see.
Just roll with it.
Well, that's what Superman's doing. He's destroying the inside of a car.
He is. Is he?
Yeah,
it looks like he's. The cover is wild.
The cover is like post-industrial with a Superman drawn in the middle of it. It's like if you had this cover is like if you had a National Geographic magazine that was covering a Ford plant, and then you stuck your Superman sticker in the middle of the centerfold.
Yeah.
So he was flying through the plant, and then somebody blew up the plant at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we're really into Kirby's mixed media stage right now. We're really experiencing his mixed mediums. And this is a really good example of that. This whole entire series here is an ongoing expansion of that. And Kirby's really experimenting and showing us what mixed medium can be in comics.
Now, here's the thing about this cover. I'm going to just say I don't really like it, but I do.
Cool.
Because it's weird.
It's weird. It's wacky. It's zany.
You're using a bunch of words that make no sense, and I'm just gonna say you were saying words that did make sense, and then you stopped saying words that made sense. Like you were holistically describing the art behind the cover, and then you started saying it's zany. Zoinks.
I know. It is, though. It's wild.
It's not really wild, actually. I don't agree.
I would say, well, it's not wild to you because you've seen this kind of thing. But when Kirby was doing this kind of art, think about it. It wasn't really
I didn't really like
norm.
It that much later either.
Well, no, but when he was putting this book out, this was new. This wasn't something that was common in comic books. This wasn't something that was common for people to just pick up and see.
Well, we're talking about Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 138, and we're talking about the cover just to give people a reference. Everyone should just go look at the cover, Google the cover. I think, like, first off, here's what I like about it, and here's what I don't like about it. I like the fact that you could almost set this comic next to Life magazine on the newsstand, and nobody would have known, like, the difference. Actually, probably more next to the National Enquirer, but...
I was going to say National Enquirer because don't be a chicken, read all about Doomsday.
Well, that's the part I was just about to critique. Yeah, and then you get don't be a chicken, read all about Doomsday at the top, which, number one, Doomsday is not going to be around for a long time. Around 1993.
Or is he? We don't know that. Maybe this is the genesis, the beginning.
No, here we have the 4/5 of Doom.
Well, we do have the 4/5 of Doom in the big boom.
They'll wreck ya.
Bada bing, bada boom. It'll wreck ya.
And we do get, this time we get DC Jimmy Olsen with Superman and Jimmy Olsen up in the corner in a classic Marvel kind of like circle thing. But it's not heads.
It's a full body pose.
And then, actually, it kind of reminds me of the old 40s stuff, actually. Where you get the full Superman in the corner. Yeah. We are approved by Comics Code Authority because they're not going to say no to Jack Kirby, even though maybe they should have.
No.
I actually like this story a lot better. So
this is a good story.
I'm all along now. The story actually did get a lot better here. The cover's weird. It says everybody's in this one. It's a blast, except the Guardian.
The Guardian's here.
Well, not really. Guardian gets a spotlight next issue, okay? Just hang on.
Okay, I'm hanging on. I'm holding on.
The Guardian's right here on the first page.
He's right there. I know. That's what I'm saying. He's right there, man.
Yeah, but then the Guardian just goes away. But we learn.
Does what the Guardian does
We'll
best.
get more Guardian.
He's got guard stuff.
I'm all the way into my reading now where Orion is on Earth, and he's trying to hide as a human. And I met the Black Racer, and now I understand that character now. So, okay. It's very interesting. Light rays in space somewhere. This is all in the New Gods. So that's happening there. Mr. Miracle has assumed the mantle of Mr. Miracle and has gone to fight Granny Goodness. And I'm not sure what's going to happen yet. And over in Forever People, which has now won me over temporarily because it's not just turning into the Infinity Man at the end. The Infinity Man went and Darkseid went, fuck off, Infinity Man, and turned him back into the Forever People. And the Forever People are standing at the end of the issue looking at Darkseid going, what do we do now? Because apparently they don't know how to use their own actual powers because they keep always turning into the Infinity Man. So... is it Infinite Man or is it Infinity Man?
Infinite Man?
Infinite Man's a Legion villain, sort of villain.
Infinity
so that's
Man.
What I think it's Infinity
Captain
Man.
Power.
But it's yeah. Well, I mean, it is an early Convergence
Captain
character
Planet.
It is Captain Planet. Well, Captain Planet is it, but yeah, it's I mean, I'm really into the other Kirby stories now. They're interesting. They're developing. I saw Glorious Godfrey's first appearance long before Legends. where we knew him best. I saw him. I've seen obviously a lot of first appearances because Kirby's creating the universe, but that's one that stood out to me, especially in this day and age. Very telling the future. The whole anti-life equation and anti-life thing makes more sense. It's almost like you have a whole group programming people to be subhuman. Okay, I'm into that. Very kind of like the politics of now, which kind of is scary. There's a lot going on in these books, and then we get to Jimmy Olsen.
Yeah.
And we're to the Monster Squad of the week again. But this time we get the same monsters for 2 issues. So.
Yeah, and you get a little more beat 'em up and a little more understanding of these monsters.
I do think, like, on this cover, saying everybody's in this one. Well, let's get into it, because I think this book here starts to actually progress the story, which is what I've been asking for. So let's dig in. We get to the first page, and we left off last issue with the D.N.Alien, D.N.Aliens.
Yeah, the D.N.Alien.
What if it was a Danlian? Then it would be easier.
It's a Danlian. Well, I mean, it could be a Danlian. Maybe it's a Danlian.
Anyway, D.N.Alien's on the front page.
So the Dandelion was on the front page.
You can tell the Jack Kirby books were doing good for advertising when you lead with all the junk things you can buy for $1 on the first page. That is not a good sign, by the way. That is a terrible sign for a book. I just want to say that out loud. We are here, though, and the D.N.Alien is going to get the nuclear pile, remember?
Yes.
And he's escaped to go fight the Harrys. And we've got a lot of Harrys, and they don't last very long. They are all running away because their guns get all torn up, and yeah, it's not good. Why every time I see the Harrys are they just getting beat up?
They just get beat up.
I feel like I'm in the wrong book, though.
I think you might be.
Because I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
How'd you get in the wrong book?
I don't know. Because I just flipped to Jimmy Olsen, like, playing music again. There we go.
Oh, man.
I was totally in the wrong book.
Dan was in the
now
wrong
we're in the right
book.
And now well, I just described what this is, and then I'm, like, looking at different things. I'm like, this is very confusing. No, that was last issue. D.N.Alien is going after the nuclear stockpile. That is happening. I did remember what was happening. We've got a bunch of Jimmy Olsen soldier clones ready to go take him out. We've got the Guardian on the front. We've got...
Yeah.
Looks like we have all the dads have come together.
Yes, the dads all got blaster guns in their hands. They're ready to fight.
And they got to go to Jimmy Olsen and their kids. Then we flip the page and we get a bunch of people driving into a nuclear furnace.
Yeah. And it's
again
another cool. It's a very neat artistic choice that Kirby's done with the drawn art over a mixed medium piece.
Yeah, it's cool. And then it goes like immediately back to comic books.
Back to comic books.
And we get the dads driving in their project cars.
Yeah, they're doing buggies. They're multi-wheeled
And
cars.
We get back to Superman and the boys getting stuck in the giant egg.
Yeah, it's like another title page, though. It's like Jimmy Olsen and his companion in Misfortune Superman.
Yep.
It's like, didn't we just have a title page?
Well, and don't worry, right now, for a couple minutes, Superman's going to be not a jerk. But don't worry, by the end of the issue, he'll be a jerk again. So, never fear. Superman will be back to being a jerk.
It's right like now. He takes his Jerkimins, like their vitamins, and he becomes a jerk again.
But right now, it's Jerk Again Vitamins. Brought to you by
Flintstones.
Okay, that's I can tee him up for you, but if you're gonna hit him in straight into
Hey,
the ground,
I,
then
I'm not in your brain, dude. I don't know what you're thinking.
I wasn't thinking anything. I was teeing it up for you, and you swung just like the Mariners last night and just hit it straight into the
Yeah.
ground.
Hey, well, I mean, I'm in Seattle. That's what I do. That's what I do best. Choke.
Well, anyway, they're all working together to try to get out of the plastic egg thing. That's
Gotta get out of this egg.
Radiation and nuclear waste.
Yeah.
Seems like a bad thing
This
to be
garbage
in.
egg. Yeah.
We get Aurora monster scenes.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I want some of those. They figure it out. They bust out, and the egg breaks, and Superman, immediately after working with them to get out, goes back to being a jerk. They're all giving ideas. He's like, "Cool it, men. Let's think, not panic."
Oh man, Superman.
And Jimmy's like, "I'd rather panic than listen to those jokes." Jeez. I will say, like, did Jack Kirby just hate Superman? Like, he makes Superman the most unlikable character.
I mean, it's a Jimmy Olsen book, so of course, yeah, you got to make Superman the bad best
dad.
Friend or whatever, bad dad. Yeah, it's like making bad jokes, and it's kind of like, oh.
Well, the D.N.Alien now, like I was saying at the beginning of the last issue, he's back attacking things.
Oh man,
buy some diamonds.
D.N.Alien.
You know.
Oh yeah.
We should calculate how many diamond ring. Let's see. So we would need one for each hand.
Oh my gosh. So 10.
So if we got a princess ring for $180.
No. Oh, one for each finger. I was
an
like,
apple blossom ring. Oh, I was just saying one for each hand. Apple blossom ring for $160. And then we got the crown empress for $275.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the cherry blossom for $200. I mean, that's pretty good. And I wonder what that calculates to in $1971.
From then to now,
yeah,
2025. Ooh, probably a bunch of dollars.
Well, we can find out. I'll go ahead and keep looking while we disrupt the podcast to completely just look at how much 4 diamond rings from National Diamond Sales.
How much are they in your pocket for?
And I purchased these items for $850.
Yes.
And I calculate that would be worth $6,732.73. A cumulative rate of inflation of 692.1%.
Dude, if you bought those diamond rings back then, think about that. You could put that towards your car.
No, you can't, because diamond rings depreciate in value.
No, well, I mean, do they though?
The gold is at an all-time high, though. Diamonds are
priceless.
hot garbage.
What? Dude?
You know
why are they so expensive?
Well, you see, there's this company called De Beers, and De Beers owns all of the diamond mines because they are.
Oh my gosh!
And then they hold back the supply and mark up the price to make you think the diamonds are better. In fact, honestly, no one in the world should ever buy a diamond. If you're gonna buy a diamond, you should buy one of the Canadian diamonds. They are etched with, I believe, a polar bear in them. If you like this, welcome to Diamond Cast. It would be much better just to buy a ring with a sapphire or something else in it, or any literally there's pretty much any other kind of rock except for a diamond that you're going to get from an international conglomerate who holds a monopoly over all of the world's diamonds that put people in diamond mines and had their hands chopped off. Like, I would prefer anything else. Get a synthetic diamond. Like, literally do anything else.
I was just going to say,
except buy a diamond.
What? You know what you could do? You could get a ring and have milk put on it, and that would be better. Or an egg.
You could put an opal in there. I'm good with that. You could put a pearl in there. There's a number of different things you could do. Be creative with the ring. Diamond, however, is the worst possible option of all possible options. Even worse than being in a nuclear egg. and then running off away from your friends and leave them in a nuclear egg to go attack a nuclear monster, which is what Superman does right here.
Arc.
And so we flip the page.
Nuclear monster says about that.
We flip the page and we get. Is this a new character?
Who's a new character?
That's him, miss, right there. Oh, you're Terry Dean. Huh? I'm glad you answered my call. Sit down, honey. Perry. Really?
Oh.
Do you call all the ladies honey? Or just the ones in tight striped tops?
I think just that. It's the 70s. I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying, like, it's probably just the it was the characterization of this type of person.
Well, I'm all wound up because we just went through a diamond ad. Now
yes,
we're calling
I know.
People honey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, Perry White and Terry.
Perry White. Terry and Terry
have a whole conversation about Morgan Edge. And Perry White says Galaxy's own Smiling Cobra. Now, that would not appear until 1984.
Uh-huh. The Smiling Cobra?
Yes.
The Edgelord?
No.
Yeah?
No.
No?
I was going for Karate Kid, but I don't know what you're going for.
I thought we were talking about the Edge.
Oh, yeah, but he's already appeared. I was saying Cobra Kai, the Smiling Cobras.
Well, Cobra Kai, I mean...
How about Cobra Commander?
Okay.
Was he a Smiling Cobra?
We can never really tell under the mask. I'm sure he was.
How about
sometimes
Destro?
When he wasn't very frustrated. Destro always had a smirky grin on his face, but then again, that's just how his face looked.
How do you know?
We don't know what his face looked like underneath the mask.
How about the Baroness?
She just always had a resting face.
Yeah. Okay. What about Tomax and Oxmat?
They always seem to be smug. Like they were just smug guys.
I'm sure I said their names very wrong.
No, I think you're right. It's the same word, same name, just one is spelled one way and one is spelled backwards.
Zomat and Tomax.
Zomat and Tomax.
Zomat, or I said Oxmat. Well, anyway.
Zomat, yeah.
We're already back away from the newspaper, and we're back to all the G.I. Joes are now fighting, and we get our cameo of the actual villains, Simeon and Makari.
Oh, that terrible website.
And they're using the Evil Factory. So we've got the Evil Factory and the Good Project.
Yes, the Good Project and the Evil Factory.
Just to make sure you know who's the bad guys and who's the good guys. Did you know you could buy any 12 hit records for $2.86?
It's a good deal. We said this before, and there's so many good choices to choose from. I want to go back and get them all.
Oh, in the middle of the... Okay, what's going on here? We're in the middle of the...
Yeah, we're in the middle.
Book, and we've got letters. We've got lots and lots of letters. Actually, we only have 4.
There's one I think that you wrote, Dan. I swear, everyone. Dan wrote this letter. If you go to the third letter in, so on the second column of letters.
Well, let's just go through the 4 letters. 1, a dear editor, California Life must agree with Jack Kirby. Evil Factory, Jimmy Olsen 135, was a remarkable book. I've never read anything quite like it. Me neither. That doesn't make it. Kirby jam-packed the issue with symbolism. The Harrys have to represent the young people of today.
Yes.
We, the young, have combined technology with idealism to form an alternate culture, and we are attracted by those who feed our life cycle, endanger theirs, feel our life cycle endangers theirs. The sunshiny West Coast has obviously tuned Kirby into this. Okay, yeah, I'm tired of this letter.
Yeah.
All right. Dear editor, Apocalypse, the book of Revelations, the final book of the Bible, the end of everything, the organization. Yeah, okay, I'm done. Dear Mr. Kirby, before I start complaining about the latest issue of Jimmy Olsen, let me first congratulate you on taking over as editor of the magazine. Now, down to business. I do not like the D.N.Aliens. The idea of growing people out of cells just turns me off. Though I will accept almost anything that is put into a comic, I will not accept man creating life and playing God. I did not write this. I just say clones are stupid. This guy is... That's Bob Rozakis. Holy shit.
I figured, see, once you got to the...
That is Bob Rozakis.
I know.
What?
It's hilarious, right?
In the future, he would edit Superman comics.
No.
And, like, I would think, is there a different Bob Rozakis? No, that can't be possible. Holy shit.
He wrote to Kirby and told him, I don't like your book. Congratulations on being the editor. I'm going to take your job someday.
Yes. Bob Rozakis, born in 1951. Known as DC's Answer Man. Mainly for his work in the 70s and 80s. Holy crap. Between 1981 and 1988, Rozakis ran DC Comics production department as executive director of production. He was instrumental in developing an offset printed comic book in a wide variety of formats. Yes. But he's the answer. Man. Oh, my. Wow. Okay.
That's why I like reading these letters sometimes, because they're quite humorous. But
wow.
Yes,
well, now we know why Jack didn't go back to DC.
Because they took their jobs.
Wow. In 1976, Rozakis and Paul Levitz co-wrote a revival of the Teen Titans and introduced Dwayne Dent, the Bumblebee, and the Calculator. He revived Batwoman and the original Batgirl. Oh, he was the writer. Yes, I forgot. I mean, I didn't forget, but I knew. I had to be wrong. I forgot. He was the writer for the Secret Society of Supervillains, which is a fantastic book that got canceled in the DC implosion, unfortunately. Wow. Bob Rozakis. Wow. Wow. Well, let's finish off this letter. I also do not like the way Jimmy Olsen is playing a secondary role in his own magazine. At this rate, the mag may become Jimmy Olsen, the Newsboy Legion, the Guardian, the D.N.Aliens, the Harrys, and oh yes, Superman. Bob Rozakis, Elmont, New York. We promise that next issue, Jimmy and Superman will leave the DNA project, and the Newsboy Legion will slip into the background for the time being. But let us correct one error in your letter. The project grows humans from living cells. Therefore, it does not create life. What?
I think they're trying to say that it's different, but yet it's all I know is it's science.
Bob Rozakis, Elmont, New York. I love you. I don't have the religious fervor you do at the beginning, but I do agree with you that the book is a little crazy. Dear editor, our last one here. I did not enjoy the two Kirby blockbusters in the Jimmy Olsen excerpt, except for the artwork. Yeah, I think I am with, we talked about this too. The artwork is fantastic, right? The story. Well, let's keep going, because I feel like this issue took a turn. I did feel like this issue took a turn. We started to get somewhere. I feel like all the books are taking a turn at the same time too. Like, he's been setting up the world building. as I'm going through the different books, and all of a sudden, things are starting to happen. We're getting a little bit more action. We're finding out what this dark side guy is all about, but not here, of course. We've just got these henchmen. It's almost like we just threw these henchmen in here instead of putting the real dark side in a movie. Fuck you, Zack Snyder. And, oh, wait. Or was that fuck you, Joss Whedon? Because Zack Snyder put dark side back, right, in the movie.
Column A, column B.
But Joss Whedon, we're pissed at him for other reasons.
Yeah.
We loved him, and then we're pissed at him because,
You like some of the stuff, but not all the stuff.
He became grumpier old man.
Yeah.
But anyway,
let
me take a drink out of my Wolverine and...
He's gonna drink a Wolverine, everybody. I don't know what that means, but if you're watching our video, you get to see it. But if you're listening on the podcast,
always good to take big drinks and gulps in the middle of the podcast.
From a Wolverine. I don't know what that means.
Well, anyway, we are back here, and we have a bunch of D.N.Aliens.
So many.
Makari and Simeon are launching them. I don't know what Simeon's purpose is. Does he do anything but make snarky comments?
He's like when you remember on Johnny Carson, right? You got Johnny Carson telling the jokes.
You're correct, sir.
Simeon is
Makari's
he is Makari's Ed McMahon.
You're amazing, sir. That was so funny.
Let's throw them through this light portal.
No, I was being your Ed McMahon.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you are.
All right, move before I punch you through the thing. Oh no! Why is that here? That was gone.
It was gone. Then I found it.
Well, we're back to
he hadn't noticed, folks.
Office, and
he didn't know.
He also has a secretary apparently that he sexually harasses. And then he finds out from the intergangs that they're going to blow up the city of Metropolis.
Oh, God, no.
Because that's where all the D.N.Aliens are going, to the nuclear pile. And
there's a nuclear pile in Metropolis?
Yeah, they have this whole thing where, it's in the where the project is, in the forest and whatever they call it. I mean, we're going to learn about it again in a minute. I'll tell you the names. And then Morgan Edge does this whole shtick where he's leaving the office. And he goes upstairs to his helicopter. And he leaves. Because he doesn't want to get blown up. All right. Now, we flip the page.
Guy.
And...
Ark?
We flip the page. And... we get... Superman fighting the D.N.Alien again, and getting his ass kicked
Fist
again.
Of Fury.
He hasn't learned anything. He's getting quadruple fisted.
Well, what's funny too is like some of the comments that Superman makes throughout this whole entire fight scene are like, "How could he do that?" It's like, you just fought this dude last issue, man. Why are you asking? Like, did you take like dumb berries or something and like forget?
Well, he's not the smartest. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed here. Well,
but that's Bizarro would do a better job.
Well, you too could find out what the original Superman with your original Action Comics #1 T-shirt for $2 plus 25 cents handling.
Heck yeah.
Which I did, since I already have the inflation calculator open and convenient, handy. Yeah. I calculated $2.25, and this shirt to today's dollars would cost you $17.82. Quite reasonable for a custom printed comic book shirt. But these shirts are ringer shirts.
Oh yeah,
which makes them super cool. Those make my muscles.
I've seen that movie.
I like them.
It's not appropriate anymore.
Ringer shirts?
No, the movie The Ringer, not appropriate anymore.
Oh no. No. Never. I don't think it ever.
It wasn't appropriate when it was made.
It wasn't appropriate. It was made. Wow. Okay, so anyway, yeah, that somebody in Hollywood was like, "Yeah, let's do it. That'll be funny."
And then, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
anyway,
now, Four
the
Arms of
D.N.Alien
Fury
goes
has
and
got metal rods.
takes all the he takes 4 fists and 4 rods
And he's
and
gonna
throws
rod.
all 4 rods at Superman. All of them break
Oh,
on
man.
Superman,
Oh,
which leads me to anyway, I'm not
what are
going
you
to
gonna
ask
say?
that question.
What are you gonna ask? Ask.
No.
What are you-
And so
what-
then Superman beats up, and we've got
I
Kirby
want to
Crackle.
know, Dan.
No, I
Uh,
want to talk about the Kirby
okay.
Crackle on page 19
Okay, Kirby.
in a book that
So
actually
much
has
Kirby
page
Crackle.
numbers.
I know it's
Hey,
great,
did
isn't
you
it?
know when I'm reading from the Omnibus that the page numbers in the original comic book are still there, but then there's another page number at the bottom indicating the page number
Huh?
for the page in the Omnibus, but then the comic
Oh,
book
that's
pages
cool.
are still there like original. So you could actually number a book, but then if you were going to make it into a graphic novel, you could put new numbers in the white space below.
Well, you know what I'm going to tell you right now? When the Starlight graphic novel is coming
There
out,
will be no page
when
numbers.
that's right, just for you, Dan.
I'm not going to back a book without page numbers.
Well, what if I hand page number your book just for you?
Only if Brett does it.
Well, he won't do it.
All right. Well, we're going to the next page then.
Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry. All the D.N.Aliens. We got Kirby Crackle and then a bunch of D.N.Aliens that came from the hatching with Mokari and Simeon jump out of a boom tube, I think, but it doesn't say boom, which makes me sad. It should say boom every time it appears, but it doesn't.
Tube of the boom, boom.
And then we flip the page, and you could buy your own 747 for $2.95. Approximately.
Do the inflation on that.
It's $23.37 for your own 747 jumbo jet that actually flies. So unlike...
Well, 47 should just buy one of those then.
Well,
and then
I would just say,
get it
if it does
gifted.
actually fly, that's quite a deal because it's unlike all the other 747. Well, no, 747's a good plane. I don't want to make fun of the
747s are fine, man.
They're all still fine.
Don't bag on
I
them.
want one.
They're still fine.
They're no 787.
787s are fine too.
The Lego plane, yeah, they're great.
They are.
No, they're not.
Fantastic.
They're terrible planes. Anyway, hey, I know you can't say, but I can. So,
hey, you know,
we get to the next page, and as the tray falls off in your hand, don't set that comic book on a tray. It might be too heavy for the 787 tray.
Don't touch the window to make the window go darker because it won't undarken or it won't go dark.
And it's awful. Anyway, it was kind of a cool idea, but in execution. Anyway, all the Jimmy Olsen soldiers, those are Jimmy Olsen soldiers, right? If I remember correctly.
I don't know. Maybe
they're all
kind of
clone soldiers anyway. A young George Lucas was reading this.
And he's like, "Oh man, attack the clones! It's an attack, and they're all clones. It's an attack of the clones."
The army would I wouldn't even have to pay real actors if I could just have lots of clones.
Oh my gosh, what an idea! And I just put them all in a helmet, and no one would know the difference because no one would know they're all the same, or different, or whatever. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, we get Big Brains or whatever his name is.
Big words. Big brains.
Big words, Dad. Big Brains. And
Big brains.
Says they're all going in and they're trying to attack. And he's like, yes, beyond the reactor chamber, we're planning to tap the Earth's core. For more on this project, see June issue of Superman on sale, April 15th.
I thought it was just Superman talking to Clark Kent for a minute. They look the same.
Yeah, well, Big Brains, he's got it. Well, anyway, all of a sudden we have all the D.N.Aliens and everybody's fighting them, and Guardian is able
Even
to
the
beat them up.
Guardian.
The Guardian is evil. Yeah, he gets his second cameo of the issue. He's beating them up until he gets knocked down. And then all the aliens are being rushed by Superman. Superman grabs a choo-choo train nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
And with lots of Kirby crackle, carries it and moves it into the center of the Earth. He throws it there. All the D.N.Aliens fall in. They're dead.
Lemmings. They go like lemmings right over the edge.
Yeah. We find out that next issue, everybody's fine. We ended the storyline very quickly. We don't know what happened to Markari and Simeon yet, but we find out that the Guardian fights again next issue.
The Guardian fights again.
And he does indeed fight again.
Day.
So we're going to see that. We also get an ad for the original awesomest board game ever, Stratomatic Baseball.
Oh, is it the awesomest? Is it the best? Because
Stratomatic
pitching,
Baseball
hitting,
is...
fielding, running, and managing.
Stratomatic Baseball is amazing. I don't even want to hear you make fun of it. I'll just...
I'm not making fun of it. I'm asking. I've never played it.
Well, you missed out.
I missed
out. For computers, that was the best way to play baseball at home. If you weren't out in the field with a baseball bat and a glove. If you were me and uncoordinated and couldn't hit, this was your thing. Hey, we got bikes too. And you can buy... Yeah. Yeah, well, what do you think? Next issue we get Don Rickles. So
I'm excited. I can't wait. Don Rickles in a comic book. What's gonna happen with that zaniness?
And the Guardian.
That's right. And is the Guardian gonna fight Don Rickles?
Maybe.
Oh my gosh. What a fight that's going to be.
I don't know. I just got to this book, so I haven't read it yet. I'm one page in.
It's going to be 20 pages of just crazy,
I'm one page
bonkers stuff.
Yeah. I'm literally one page in.
I said 20 pages.
I'm 2 pages
There's 22 pages in these books. There's 22 pages in the book, and it's 20 pages of them fighting.
Of
but
Don
what
Rickles
are they fighting for?
I don't know. I haven't read the book yet, so... Well, we got to the end of this book.
Guardian has to stop him.
We got to the end of this book. It feels like Jack Kirby just needed to end the story really quickly, and so he did. And no more D.N.Aliens.
Choo-choo trained into the pit of despair, and the D.N.Aliens lemming themselves to death.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very quick ending. There was a lot of story here to get up to this very 2-page ending. The art is beautiful. The story is it's there to go along with the art.
It tells you it's got a beginning, it's got a middle, it's got an end, and it ends really fast.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than The Lady and the Tiger. At least there is an ending.
It's like when you're watching a movie and it's just nothing but runtime, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh man, we've got 2 minutes left. We better finish this thing," and they were all in a coma.
It's like this story. These last few issues have been like intro, rising action, 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 climax, conclusion. No falling action.
Do you need that? There was falling. There was falling action.
They
all
in,
those D.N.Aliens falling in.
They fell into a pit. I fell.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Yeah? No. I don't want a Parks and Rec Macho Man crossover. Mouse Rad featuring new lead singer Macho Man Randy Savage.
Can I get a hell no?
See, again, I tee it up for you to sing the Pit song, and then you just look at me.
No. And I no sold you. That's
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna have Bobby Night Ranger come out and play at your next get together. You didn't watch Parks and Rec,
okay.
did you? It's
A
shameful.
couple episodes here and there.
Yeah, you didn't watch it. They had toward the end of the end of the original run. They did add one more season on to the end.
Okay.
But they had a giant concert, and one of the bands that played was Bobby Night Ranger. And after they got done, they all came out dressed as Bobby Knight, the basketball coach,
Did they choke anybody?
and played Night Ranger songs,
Yeah.
and then threw chairs around the stage at the end.
Well, that's pretty cool.
You need to watch.
I like the original
show.
I like the British version
of Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Have you ever seen it? You never seen the British version of Parks and Rec? Are you looking it up?
I'm ignoring you right now. I'm deliberately just no-selling you. Like, this is not. I'm not.
He's
buying
looking it
into
up
the
though.
joke. I am not looking
he
it
is
up.
looking it up.
I'm closing my comic books. I can
okay.
share my screen right now. I have the inflation calculator up.
Oh. I wonder how much a copy of the original, the UK version of Parks and Rec
right
cost.
there. See, everyone, the inflation calculator. You're not going to be able to see it because I'm going to use the camera thing to scrub everything, and it's not going to show it.
Oh, okay. Dan is mad.
Stop it. The Parks and Rec is one of the greatest shows ever made. Like, I don't want to hear it. It's just, yes, and because you chose not to watch it is your mistake.
Hey, you know, I mean, we all make choices.
You were too busy watching Castle.
I didn't watch Castle either. I watched like an episode or two.
And you went, this is a shitty version of Murder, She Wrote.
I was like, it's Murder, He Wrote. And said, meh.
Yeah. Well, listener Jason and podcaster Jason is trying to spoil Legion stuff for me that I've already had spoiled.
Yeah.
Just read the Superman
He's
Summer
telling
Special.
You stuff.
We're probably going to have to review it because the Legion's going to be there.
Oh, no. It's going to have to happen probably.
Somebody will review it. You may not. Maybe I'll do it with Jason.
He's kicking me off the show. He's angry with me.
Maybe I'll do an extra show.
I gave him an extra show.
Maybe I'll create my own show
paywall.
Called Summer of Superman.
Summer of Superman?
Maybe.
Then you had to go full Jimmy Olsen and his pal Superman.
Maybe, or maybe I just talk about Superman stuff like the Legion of Superheroes. Maybe I just make a summer show called the Legion of Superheroes, except there are already like 4 Legion of Superhero podcasts that have covered like everything.
I mean,
not that I've listened
I guess
to
you
all
could
of them.
if you wanted to. You could. I mean, nobody stop.
We could cover Summer of Superman. Well, I think.
I mean, listeners, do you want a D.N.Alien show where Dan talks nothing about D.N.Aliens
and the 4 fistings
and the 4 fistings of fury? Because he will do it. He will do that.
No, I will not. No, no. That will not be happening.
He will give that to you if that's what you want. Please make.
I'll tell you what. If
known,
one of the listeners finds another comic with the D.N.Aliens in it, and sends it to me or hands it to me at a con, which we actually will go to one eventually.
Oh Lord.
We'll go to SummerCon, which is.
Can you call it?
I don't even remember when SummerCon is. When is SummerCon?
It's next month sometime.
Yeah. Well, it's next month sometime, but we should start preparing the listeners now.
Yeah, we should.
If they want to find us, we're only going to be at SummerCon on June 20th. That's a Friday.
It's a Friday.
We will not be at a booth.
You're like,
we will be walking around.
We're walking around, doing our thing, wearing our hats and shirts. And if you are one of those lucky people that knows what we look like, that's right, you. The lucky
well, you can
people.
find the people wearing the Funny Book Forensics hats, like Greg's. I mean, I'm sure that
I bought like 20 of them and handed them out to 20 other people to wear. I've been doing it at the store.
We're so appreciative of
Go to
SummerCon right
SummerCon
now.
on Friday.
We're so appreciative of SummerCon right now. Like loyal visitors of SummerCon, we bought our tickets this year. We didn't even look at the comic lineup because we were thinking we would, SummerCon has been a great show to service local comic creators and has some celebrity guests, but had emphasized being a comic show as an alternative to ECCC, which has become a barrage of hot garbage melting down in the middle of Seattle every year that it comes here, where you can hardly interact with creators because it's just so segmented, moved to all these different buildings across the city, impossible to get into, and now not so much of a fun show. And now I may consider going back to ECCC, though had thought I'd sworn it off until Reed Pop stops running it. And now SummerCon has become the biggest jerks in the world, where people were asking, hey, when are you going to announce your comic creators? And they launch into a barrage on Facebook about how comic book people are stupid and immature and should quit asking, and they should just take it, bend over, and be happy with what they're being delivered. And as I look on their website, they have 6 comics guests announced. 6. But they have 5 million celebrities. So people are going to go to the fairgrounds, wait in giant lines, be miserable. But if you want to go to SummerCon, as I've been selling it as such a wonderful show right now, you can come with Greg and I. You can hang out by the comic book creators, and we're going to go talk to them. So you can come hang out with us, and we're going to go talk to comic book people and have fun doing it. So... except for Kevin
wish
Eastman,
Dan was
because
exaggerating.
he won't grace us with his presence on Friday.
Because you're not exaggerating.
So there are now only 5 comic book creators there on Friday. We have Mark Brooks, Fabian Nicienza, Brian Azzarello, Agnes Garbowska, and Jerry Dugan. There you go. So we're going to go meet those folks. So I'll be going to my new comic book beautiful file cabinets that I purchased and moving all my comics into so I can find them, and pull out some comics, and we'll go meet to some creators. But yeah, I mean, it is quite frankly, SummerCon, pathetic, and pathetic to yell at your fans. And I'm pissed because we've supported them, and talked about how great of an alternative they were, went to the show last year, shouted out the show for months going into it. And here we go. And you go online and they have to ruin it all by being asshats. Yeah. And you didn't think I was going to rant about it on this show, but I am, because I'm tired of them and I'm done with them. And now I've already bought my damn ticket, so I'm going to show up. And we're going to go and we're going to have a great time, and we're going to have an earthquake burger.
Yeah.
But last year,
have no
they had a bunch
rant.
of great creators.
I just find it funny that people were asking, the show is literally less than maybe about a month away, less than a month away, and people were asking just, hey, you've already announced all the other people that are going to be there. When do you plan on doing that? And the response was literally almost verbatim what Dan said. Quit being crybabies. Don't ask. We're not going to tell you. If you keep asking, we're just not going to tell you. We were going to tell you on Free Comic Book Day, which literally would have been a month away. And now that you've asked, we're not going to tell you at all. And
they
then
had a
they
whole
kind of
very
let some
active
stuff
building last year.
Yeah. Well, and it keeps getting, and as someone who sat in their active areas, I've watched it get smaller and smaller and smaller each and every year, to the point where they don't have, it's a very disheartening.
But they're not even getting very active, successful local creators. They're not even getting the Portland crew up here.
No.
At least yet. I mean, maybe they are, but I haven't. It's not here. And
no.
They're where, not. Why, again, why are you not getting, David Walker is just off a brand new Kickstarter, super famous creator from Portland. Why are you not getting people like him up to the show right here in the Northwest? This is, and maybe David told them to go, jump off a bridge and was invited. Maybe he has something better to do that weekend. I don't know, but I'm just thinking like there's one big creator that is, 100 miles away. You could have at your show right here. Should be easy to get up here. In addition to just people that we really like Randy Emberlin, who sat there for 3 days and dutifully signed autographs and brought his crew of people that follow him from show to show, made the show money, and not on the list yet. So I'm hoping Randy gets on the list. We'll probably have to contact him and find out. I don't know if he's on the list, but he's definitely not been announced. And, that's the kind of thing, like, to me, that just really, if you want to just take and just spit on the fans, congratulations, SummerCon, you've done it. Thanks. And, I'll make sure that we shout you out a lot on how great you are and how great you treat folks. So thank you. Thank you, SummerCon. My formerly favorite show in the Northwest.
Well, there's always Grit City, Dan. And that's a
Grit
show
City
that's
is
all
my
about
favorite
comics,
show now
literally.
because I can actually go talk to comic people.
It's been my favorite show for over a decade.
Well, SummerCon was fun last year. We had a lot of comic guests. We got to talk to Jim Shooter.
Yeah.
It was a fun show last year. The day we went. We didn't go on Saturday or Sunday, and so we can't speak to all the shenanigans that were happening with lines and stuff like that. And we intentionally only went on Friday.
True.
And we intentionally only went on Friday again. Anyway, okay, I'm done ranting about SummerCon. Listeners, I'll probably put something in here. If you're just turning us back on because I put a note in the podcast, you stop listening and then come back when we're done talking about SummerCon. We're done talking about SummerCon. So there are some cool things going on. We have obviously Jiu-Jitsu lawyer Paul, and you can go visit him at his gym, Certified Martial Arts in University Place.
Yeah.
Paul is once again also an attorney. That's why we call him Jiu-Jitsu lawyer Paul, happily representing me with the insurance right now and dealing with my car wreck. Hey, I don't have that complex of a case, but let me tell you, when you start dealing with these insurance companies, good to have representation, and I'm so glad Paul is representing me. And if you want, he's doing a lot of employment law right now too, protecting people. So I think, he does all sorts of practice, but if you have an employment case, if you just need representation, he's helped Greg with contracts in the past. Hit Paul up and he'll help you out. And if he can't help you, he'll let you know too. And that's the other thing about a referral with him. He's going to meet with you and he's going to say, hey, this is a case. Hey, this isn't a case. And if it's something else that he can't do, he'll help you, pass you on to somebody that can help you. So, you can reach out to him at lateknightlegal@gmail.com. That's late Knight, Knight. And you can reach out to him there. And we like Paul. So, and I can tell you, Greg, in opposite of SummerCon, you talk about service. Having somebody represent me with the insurance company has been fantastic. I am not allowed to go into details. But I can just tell you, I have not been in a car wreck like this where, somebody else hit me and I had no idea what I was getting into. And the amount of just craziness that will come at you from the insurance company that I don't have a law degree, so I can't navigate all those things that they're saying. So being represented has been really helpful.
That is good.
And anyway, and I'm not anyway, I can't talk about it, but I'll just tell you that.
Yeah, you can't talk about it.
Can't talk about it, but I'll just tell you, being represented is great. Also, we will say too, you could also visit Greg and Ann at the Retro Emporium on Meeker Street in Kent, Washington, where you can sometimes buy a copy of Absolute Zero's Camp Launchpad.
You can.
Sometimes can buy some issues of Starlight, but not right now. But maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future. Right now, I'm out. I sold them all.
And we also want you to look on Kickstarter, and Travis has been posting everywhere. But go ahead and I'll share some of Travis's posts on Funny Book Forensics too. Go ahead and sign up to know when Starlight, the graphic novel, is going live on Kickstarter.
Yeah. Because it's going to be in June.
Yeah. And we talked about it last week.
Happening in June. Yeah, I know. I was going to say also like happening at Retro Emporium and in downtown Kent, we're having it is time for the annual nerd party to be hitting the streets of Kent, Washington. So June 7th, mark your calendars if you're in the area.
How is that different than all the other days in Kent, Washington?
No, because it is no different than other days, but it is the one day in which they do block off First Avenue, bring out vendors. There's going to be all sorts of cool stuff. There's going to be boffers in the park smacking each other with styrofoam swords and other things like that. There's going to be a cosplay contest across the street from our shop. We're going to have live music that night at the store.
Am I playing?
Got all sorts of stuff. No, you're not.
Oh, you wanted people to come to the shop.
Yes.
Okay, got
it. We have like 5 bands on the bill. So it's gonna be a fun event. There's all sorts of stuff. So you should check out our Facebook page and see what kind of stuff is happening and going on.
What if I Renee Zellweger one of the bands and I just start singing part of the songs?
I think that the bands who are playing might ask you to leave. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, well, they probably would. Okay, well,
they might.
One thing we would like to share is that
there's karaoke at the bar across the street, so you can go there and do karaoke.
Okay.
Huh?
Well, there we go. So, Nerd Party, Jiu-Jitsu Layer Paul, and the Retro Emporium, Absolute Zero's Camp Launchpad, Starlight Kickstarter. Feel like we have a lot to talk about at the end of the podcast here. But, and last but not least, I just have to say, I took a couple years off, Greg.
Yeah.
But now I'm watching the last couple seasons of Riverdale.
Uh-huh.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I only watched a couple episodes, so I really don't know too much about it.
They did like a 7 years later. They copied the Legion, and they did a 7 years later.
Oh, did they?
They did. Well, I think all the actors were getting a little bit too old to be in high school.
Yeah.
And I just watched the Josie and the Pussycats episode.
Okay.
They sang songs.
Interesting. I think
they sang songs.
I think the last episode that I watched was when Archie and Jughead took off on they cut out of town and jumped on a train and took off for a while. So it was like 4th season.
Every season is a mystery, you know.
It's a mystery every season.
Every season.
It was
right after.
It was after the Dungeons and Dragons-esque season.
Yeah, that was
murder.
That was a mystery season. Every season is murder. That's the joke, right? Like now in the 7 years later, Betty's like, I only feel comfortable when I'm hunting serial killers.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Dun dun dun.
And Veronica basically married her dad.
Whoa. What?
Well, like the guy is like her dad. Like that's what I mean.
I was like, no.
No, she didn't marry Hiram. Like, no, that would be weird.
That would be weird.
But anyway, yeah. So you know,
so we're gonna become Riverdale cast.
Maybe,
and then,
maybe
just cover every single episode. We haven't watched the series in a while, but we're gonna start at the beginning, everyone.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I guarantee there isn't a lot of Riverdale casts. Well, there probably are, so I haven't looked.
There were, but not like ours.
Hey, if you love Cobra Kai, and you better go to SummerCon.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be there, except for Johnny and Daniel.
Yeah, all the kids are there.
All the kids are there.
Well, not all of them. All the kids are there except for the most famous one, right? Yeah.
Who? Which one?
The main character.
He's there.
No, he's not.
I thought he was.
I don't see
Oh, they couldn't
him.
get him either? Well, they got they almost got everybody, like
Yeah.
almost all the kids.
Yeah. But they didn't get the Blue Beetle.
Except for, I was gonna say they didn't get the Blue Beetle. They didn't have that Blue Beetle money.
Well, the important thing is, again, if we can call the Blue Beetle a comic book movie.
It was so good, dude.
It was not good. All right, you know what?
It was so good. Oh man, I watched it 3 times in a row. I was also running a very big fever at the time, and I really enjoyed it.
You know.
Yeah. Dan walks away. I mean, it had nothing to do with it had some stuff to do with the book, but it wasn't exactly. Yes, blue and gold. Yeah, if I want that movie, give me that movie. Please, and thank you.
Well, we're ending this podcast now, and we appreciate your patronage, even though you don't pay for anything because it's free. But
behind the paywall, you can get nothing but Dan and his Summer of Superman.
Nobody would want that. So anyway, we will talk to you soon.
Okay.
We love you. We will be back. We might even do more recordings so we don't get delayed. But we will see you soon, and we will go on to the Don Rickles version of Jimmy Olsen, which will be fascinating. So I can't wait.
Yes.
Should be reading along. And then, we're going to be off doing something else that's not Jimmy Olsen. And I feel like if we don't do a Godzilla book,
we're going to lose our listener.
Yeah, we will lose our one listener. So, Greg, go find a Godzilla book to read.
I thought you were going to say, Greg, go find us some more listeners.
No. We're way beyond
I'll find it. Oh, okay. I mean, I'll try, but it takes a little bit of... but you got to pay them if you want them to listen. Oh, wait, no, they pay us.
Yep. All right, we're done.
We don't get paid.
We're done.
All right, bye, everyone.
All right, bye. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye. Bye. Bye.
Goodbye.